Hey yo, what up, what up, what up? What is up? What is good and what is popping to my beautiful people? It's your girl, True Mystique, and welcome back to another episode of the Socially Misconstrued podcast. Now, for those of you who are new here, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. And for those of you who do not know what the Socially Misconstrued podcast is all about, it's about my personal opinions, which are usually unpopular, and my views on political topics, social commentary, and other pop culture references, and I analyze them through a unique and critical lens. Now in this podcast, I'm going to be talking a little bit about love. You know, the love department and the feel-good department, yes. Now, this topic that I'm talking about, I feel is a really taboo topic, and not a lot of people are honest with it, and not a lot of people touch on this. So I'm going to give you my perspective and my take on it, and hopefully my views and the reason why I engage in this particular topic will inspire you to do some soul searching within yourself and probably take this road. Hey, and if not, that's cool too. That's cool. I'm not here to judge. So let's get into it. Now, for today's podcast, I want to get into the topic of celibacy and what celibacy means, and why do some people go down the route of celibacy, and why do some people turn up their noses on it. Let's get into it. Let's discuss. Now, I know a thing or two, or three or four or five, about being celibate, abstaining from sex, and what that can do. Now, I think when a lot of people hear the word celibacy, they turn up their noses at it. They think that being celibate means that you're too prim and you're too proper, or you're a devoutly religious person, and they think that if you're celibate, you're a prude, or something is wrong with you, or you must be broken, or you must be defective, and no, it's not that at all. I want to deconstruct that, and I want to break it down to what it really means at the core. Now, celibacy is an act of refraining from sexual activity and engaging in sexual intercourse with other people for a determinate or an indeterminate amount of time. I think that a lot of the reason as to why, like I said, people shun from celibacy and tend to turn their nose up on celibacy, because people believe that celibacy is something that is forced upon you, or you feel like you have to do in order to get closer to God. That's usually what people think about when they talk about celibacy. And because it's just human nature to go against what you are told to do. Remember when you was a kid and your mama told you to do something and you were very reluctant to do it, or your teachers told you to sit down and shut up and you just kept talking and just kept being a blabbermouth until you got your ass in trouble? Same thing. We just have a human nature and an inclination to just not do what we're told, to rebel. If somebody tells us we need to do something, we'll find a reason as to why we shouldn't do it. And I think that when something is not self-imposed, and when you have other constructs and other entities telling you that you need to do something, you're not going to want to do it. And it's not going to be purposeful, because it's not something that you chose to do voluntarily. I think that celibacy is one of those things that becomes purposeful if you impose it on yourself, if it is self-imposed, if you choose to be celibate for the quote-unquote right reasons. And right reasons, I say quote-unquote, because it's subjective. Reasons for one person to be celibate can be different from another person's reasons to be celibate. So, there is no right or wrong way to be celibate or why you should be celibate. It is a personal choice. How I see celibacy and abstinence as a fast, if you will. Like a detox. When you consistently eat junk food all your life, and even though your body it's not programmed to handle all that junk food, but you eat it continuously anyway, so your body builds up a tolerance for it, and your body craves certain foods. And then when you flush out your body of all those toxins, and when you detox, your body feels better. Your body will feel like crap in the immediate moments while you're detoxing, because like I said, your body is used to all of that crap. But after you go 2, 3, 4 weeks of detox and your body feels good because your body is filled with the nutrients that it needs because you're treating it right. Celibacy is the same way. Celibacy is simply like a detox, like a spiritual and a mental detox of the body, of the soul. That's how I see it. Or at least that's how I choose to see it. You know, it's just removing temptation and just removing intemperance, you know, from your body. And it just gives you a time to be introspective. You know what I'm saying? Now, me, normally, I'm a person that is usually to herself and is usually an introspective person. I think about myself a lot. When you seriously have time to sit and think and you're not preoccupied with another person, another human being, you have time to really sit down and evaluate yourself and see what is up with you. Why do you act in a particular way? Or how much of an influence do other people have on you? You tend to think about these things when you sit down and you're quiet and you're still and it's just you alone with your thoughts. And what it has taught me, it's taught me about a lot of my mannerisms and a lot of my behaviors. And this also comes to play with me twofold, because not only am I celibate, I'm single. And not only am I single, I'm about to be 24 years old. And would you believe that I've never been in a relationship? Ever? Like, I tell people this. People look at me like I got two daggone heads. Like, what you mean you single? What you mean you never been in a relationship before? You never had a boyfriend? Not really. So I don't really know what it's like to be in love. I don't know what it's like to fall hard for somebody and be like, oh my goodness, I'm so infatuated with this person. Like, oh my gosh. I've never been that type of person. As a matter of fact, I'm the opposite. I'm always alone. I like my time alone. I like a lot of time alone. I'm an introvert. So I appreciate the time that I have alone. And with being single and with being celibate has taught me is that I need to do a lot of self-healing and I need to do a lot of unpacking within myself before I go into a relationship, because I don't want to start a chapter with somebody and I don't want to move forward with somebody and I got a lot of emotional baggage, because to me that's not fair to the other person. It's not fair to go into a new relationship with old baggage from past traumas or even past relationships. That's not fair. That other person doesn't deserve that. I feel like if you're going to give your all to somebody, you need to give your all to somebody. And personally, what being single has taught me is that I need to learn to let my wall down. I need to learn how to let my guard down. I need to learn how to be more vulnerable, and I need to loosen up my masculine mask that I have created due to traumas in my life. And I need to learn to be a little bit more feminine and just let people in, because I have a problem intimately connecting with people. And if you're going to be in an intimate relationship with somebody, you need to be at the very least intimately available with somebody. You need to be emotionally available. You can't give somebody something you ain't got. Like, how that work? So I know that for me, getting into a relationship, and I'm not equipped to be in a relationship, and I'm not equipped to give my all to somebody, I know that has scared me. Like, I legitimately am, like, scared of relationship for that reason. And I know that I need to let that go. I know I need to let that ish go before I get into a meaningful relationship. You know what I'm saying? So don't just think of celibacy as something that's like a punishment or something that you need to do. You know? No. It should be something that is celebrated. It should be something that has meaning to you. It should be a learning process to you so you can understand who you are and what you need to work on and what you like and dislike about yourself, so that you know how to move in your next relationship. That's what it should be about. Now, going back to me and my relationships. Like I said, 24 years old. Never been in an intimate relationship with intimacy. I like literally, it's kind of sad, but not really. Like, I'm a late bloomer. Like, when I tell you I blossomed so late, I didn't have my first kiss until I was like 19 years old. I was a sophomore in college. So if you're younger and you're listening to this, it's okay if you're a teenager and you've never had a boyfriend and you've never been kissed. It's okay if you're a teenager and you are still a virgin. if you're even in your 20s and you've never been kissed and you've never been in a relationship and you're not intimate with people and you are still a virgin, that is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody shame you for being inexperienced. There's a reason why you're inexperienced. You're probably inexperienced because you're just not ready to have that deep connection with somebody yet. Probably just not ready. Everything happens for a reason. Now, you may not know the reason now, but looking back on your life, you're going to be like, oh, that's why I went through. Or I went through this because it helped prepare me for this. You know, that's how you got to look at situations. So it's nothing to be ashamed of at all. Like, you should also not let anybody force you or coerce you into doing something that you don't want to do. You might not be in a relationship because you're just not ready. You might be a virgin because you're just not ready to have sex and all that it comes with, because it comes with a lot of implications. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you just might not be prepared for it. That's okay. You have your reasons as to why you are the way you are, and people should respect it. And if they don't respect it, they need to piss off. Like, bump everybody else's opinions. It don't matter. Because guess what? I was a 21-year-old virgin. I always in college used to complain to my friends like, oh my gosh, I'm so lonely. I need a man. Oh my gosh, never been kissed. Oh my goodness, I need the D. Like, and it was just, it's funny looking back at it, but now it's like, you were really desperate, T. Like, you were desperate as fuck. Like, nah, it wasn't a good look. That wasn't cute. And you saying all that stuff, you know, daggone good and well, you definitely weren't, just was not ready for it. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. My name is True Mystique, so I'm always going to be true to myself and true to y'all. I didn't lose it until around my 22nd birthday. I was 21, about to be 22. And I was going through a certain period of time. It was my senior year at college. I really didn't want to be there. I was about to drop out. I was just super depressed. It was just a bad environment for me. Like, it affected my schoolwork. I damn near didn't graduate on time. So I was just doing any and everything just to fill a void that I had. And I thought that, you know, sex was one of the ways that I could fill the void. And so I did. So I went on a dating app and I met this dude and we just chatted for a little bit. He was mad cool. And we decided that, hey, you want to do this? I'm cool with it. And we went through with it. And there that was. So I had a little bit of a hookup thing there and there. So yeah, I did go through a quote-unquote whole phase. I know that's popular now. The experimental phase, I guess, if you don't want to use that term. And do I regret it? No, I don't regret it at all. You know, there was nothing awkward between me and him. It was consensual. It was, hey, I'm cool with it. You cool with it. It is what it is. And I took it. And after that, yo, I swear you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I immediately felt like my confidence just boost. And everybody around me kept saying, yo, you are glowing. Like, you look amazing. Like, I don't know what it is about. Yes. And I to this day don't understand what it means when people say you're glowing. I really don't know, but hey, I guess it's a good thing. If you had a positive experience your first time, I guess it just unlocks like this hidden confidence within you. I like to compare it to Pandora's box, because it's like they tell you, oh, you shouldn't open that box because you don't know what you're gonna get in there. And then you're just ambitious and you're curious and you want to open the box, and you do open the box and it's like, oh my gosh. That's what I compared it to, and that's exactly what it was. And I did it another time with that same person, and like I said, I enjoyed it. I didn't have any problems with it. And then I graduated, and then I came home and I went on another dating app and I found somebody else, and again, same thing. I had sex with that person a few times, and the first couple of times that I dated with him, it was great. Like, oh my goodness. I was like, wow. If I thought the last one was, oh my goodness, this one, like, oh my gosh. And with that person, it was like the post-graduation depression. I couldn't find a job, so I was still in the same boat and in the same emotional situation that I was when I first did it in college. But then after the months go by and we started talking and we started hanging out and we went on dates and stuff, the next time that I did, something different started to happen. I didn't feel the enjoyment that I felt like the first few times that I did it. It just didn't feel right. Something just did not feel right within me. It was like something was just screaming at me like, yo, you might want to take a pause on this. It ain't working. So I did. So after that, like, time, it was kind of like, I didn't want to, what's the best way I can explain it? It wasn't him at all. It wasn't him. It was all me. It's like I was ready and I was willing to do it, and I went over there and we got into it, but it was like I didn't enjoy it. And it wasn't him. It was all squarely on me. And it was just like my body just felt weird, like my spirit like jumped at me, and it was like, no, it was just, I couldn't look at him in the face. It just, my body was just sending me signals like, you're not enjoying this, like probably you should stop. And I did. And then I did it one more time a couple months after that to see if I felt the same way. And then when I did it that last time I did do anything of that nature, I felt worse than the previous time. I was like, oh my gosh, like my spirit is really like screaming at me like, yo, you're probably doing this for the wrong reason. You might want to stop, like just no. And then literally at the last time I engaged in, sexual intercourse, I cried. I stopped, went into his bathroom and cried. So, and that time was the last time that I've ever, had sex with anyone. And this was back in 2017. And I have been celibate ever since. And then here's what I took from that experience. And that last experience that I had made me celibate for this. I was using sex to heal a void, and it wasn't working because it was temporary. And it made me realize that in order for sex to be meaningful for me, I need to be emotionally invested in you. I need to have an emotional connection. I need to have a mental connection with you before I can pursue a physical connection. Before I can be physically attracted to you, we gotta be on the same wavelength mentally. If you can't connect with me mentally, then there's no point to me. Sex will be meaningless. And that is the main basis that I've stuck on for me being celibate. And also learning more about spirituality, I also realized that sex literally means sacred energy exchange, which is true. Sex is something that is very sacred. Now, I don't want to get a little bit preachy, and I don't want to go too deep into spirituality right here, right now, but there's a spiritual reason why sex is so important and why sex should be utilized for marriage. And the reason is that sex is a creative energy. It's a creative energy because with sex and sexual intercourse, you have the ability to create a human life, which is the most ultimate creation of all, a life. So it's not something that should be squandered. It's not something that should just be used whatever way. It's something that needs to be special. It's something that should be like praised, and it should be done in the right circumstances. And that is what the biblical connotation to sex is. And that's what a lot of people are missing. I don't think a lot of people understand from that concept. A lot of people turn their nose up on abstinence because they feel like, oh, it's something that was enforced on them. But no, there's a spiritual reason as to why it exists. It should be done in the correct circumstances because you have the ability to create a human life and be a co-creator with God. That's what it is. And also with sacred energy exchange, SEX, you are a spirit person that you're having sex with has a spirit. You don't know what type of negative entities is attached to that other person. If that other person has just negative qualities about them, especially if you didn't know about before having sex with that person, you have sex with that person, those negative entities can transfer to you. And you transfer whatever energies and whatever entities you have to that other person and vice versa. So sometimes when you have sex with somebody, you feel yourself having some of the tendencies that they do, and they have some of the tendencies that you do. And sometimes people feel like, oh, why can't I take my mind off of this person? Why am I so attached to this person, and this person don't want nothing to do with me? Well, it's because of that energy exchange. Soul ties. You have a spiritual tie to that person because of the means in which you were intimate with each other. It's intermingling of the souls between sex and sexual activity. That's very strong. People don't understand, and people don't even know how powerful that energy is. So that's why sex can make you do a lot of crazy things. Sex and love will make you do crazy things for that reason. But y'all ain't hearing me though. That's why. You want to know why the D can make a perfectly sane woman turn crazy and do crazy things that she would never normally do is because of the energy that is exchanged. Do you want to know why a dude is bugging out over a girl who don't want him? It is because of the energy that is exchanged. But because we can't physically see it, we tend not to think about it, or we are oblivious to it. But that's some strong and powerful stuff. Let me tell you. Like I said, it is the strongest creative energy that is available. Y'all, let me tell you how strong the power of the body and the punani is, yo. Even after having sex and still being on those applications, I was still pulling dudes and people were blowing up my phone and attracted to me even after one date, and I didn't have sex with them. Dude, I didn't even have sex with. We're like, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I want to go out with you. Oh my goodness, you're just amazing. I'm like, wow. And I felt bad because it was like, I didn't really feel the same. I thought that they were cool people. Everyone that I, went on dates with were cool people, but I didn't feel that same intensity that you felt towards me. And I'm like, damn, is this the power that this thing can have? Well, shit. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling myself a little bit. But then again, like I said, going deeper into my spiritual journey, it was like, okay, I gotta take a step back from this. I gotta remove myself from this equation and figure out what true needs in order to make true happy and true successful. And I realized, one, I need somebody that I can mentally and emotionally and spiritually share a connection with before I get intimate with them. Two, I need to learn to lower my guard down, and I need to learn how to unpack a lot of the baggage that I had and do a lot of self-love and self-healing before I get into a relationship with somebody. And three, I need to learn how to utilize my creative power and my creative energy in a way that's just not just readily just expendable. Take that energy and take that sexual and creative energy and put it towards something that can bring me prosperity and wealth, instead of lusting after somebody and just wasting it. Because like I said, sexual energy is a very creative energy. And you can use that sexual energy in other ways besides sex. Me, I'm a creator. I'm a creative person, and I am creating many endeavors for myself in order to bring me wealth and prosperity, and in order to bring my dreams to fruition. I have a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of ideas that I feel can make me money. So I'm going to take that time and that energy that I would spend with the dude and put it towards what I want and my goals and my dreams, so I can properly manifest them through the correct channels. So that's where that energy is going. And currently where I am right now, I said I have been celibate since 2017, and it is about a year and a half since I had sex. Yay me. And personally, I'm just waiting for the right person. I know the right person will come along. I know if I'm serious about it, I will manifest the right person, and the right person that will be there for me mentally, spiritually, physically, and all. It's not impossible, and I'm not seeing it as me setting my sights up too high and me having high standards. You should have high standards. You deserve it. Don't let anybody shame you and tell you that your standards are too high. There's no such thing as having standards that are too high. You deserve it. If you know you're looking for a particular type of person, don't settle for less. You go for what you want, and you go for what it is that you know you deserve. Too many of us settle. I ain't got time to settle. Because if I get into a relationship and I fall for you, and I fall for you hard, I I expect for you to go as hard for me like I do for you. Because if I am in a relationship with you and I fall in love with you, I'm going to fall in love with you hard. And especially because it'll be my first relationship, I will definitely fall for the person hard. And if I want to fall for a person, it needs to be the right person in all aspects of my life. I don't want no sometimes dude. I don't want no dude that's probably here, probably not. I don't want nobody that's trifling, who won't give me the attention that I deserve. I don't need that. I want somebody, and I'm deserving of somebody, and I will manifest somebody who put in the same amount of time and effort and energy and love into a relationship like I would. It should be reciprocal. That's what relationships are supposed to be. Reciprocal, never parasitical. And too many of y'all are in relationships that are parasitical. Okay, can I get an amen? Too many of y'all are in a parasitic relationship. They're leeching. Take, and they don't ever give with the same energy. They take. Nah, it shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. And for those of you who are wondering, girl, oh my gosh, how can you go that long without that nigga? Girl, you crazy. Girl, to be quite honest, like I said, when you have your mind on so many other different avenues, especially creatively, the time passes by like that. You're not going to miss it. If you know why you're doing it in the first place, and it's meaningful to you, and you're serious about it, you're not going to miss it. And you'll feel better in the end because it's like you're refraining from indulging in a particular behavior. If you can have resistance from something that you're addicted to, that's freeing. Do you know how freeing that shit is? Do you know how many people are addicted to sex and addicted to being with somebody else? Like, they can never be alone. There are a lot of people like that who are too afraid of being alone. That's not good. If you can't be with yourself, if you can't be happy with yourself, then who can you be happy with, truly? You will never be able to be truly happy with someone if you are not happy with yourself. You can never love somebody in the capacity that they deserve to be loved if you don't love yourself. You cannot. It just will not work. I'm telling you. Self-love is the only way to go. I know the relationship, my first relationship that I'm going to get into, it's going to be a while before we even engage in sexual activity. I'm going to be like, listen, we're definitely not doing nothing during the courting stages. Like, I need to see where your mind is at. I need to see where you are and how you align in my life. And we're going to see how that goes. No intercourse. None of that. And then when we decide that, you know, I can vibe with you and you can vibe with me and we don't need to have sex to vibe, and I know that that's pure natural, cool. We could take it to being in a relationship. And even when we're in a relationship, we're not going to start off the relationship having sex. It's not going to be a free pass to get sex. No. We still got to work on that shit. Like, I want to see how you are in a relationship, how good you treat me, and how good I treat you. We're going to see how this thing works. And if the person got a problem with that, they don't want to hold out, then, hey, we're going to end it right there. We're going to see that you really didn't care for me. You just wanted the bomb. You feel me? And nah, it's just not the wave that I'm on. And that's okay. I'm not missing nothing. Now, how I see celibacy, it's just a litmus test to see, like, how well we can connect with each other intimately without going extremely intimate. If you are cool with the person and you can just vibe with the person and you connect with the person without having a physical, sexual experience with that person, then the sex will be amazing. You know how amazing that sex would be when you actually get into it? Like, damn. Sex will be more meaningful, it'll be more powerful, for real. But it's going to be heartwarming to know that this person is not with you for your body. They're with you because they really love you and they really want to be with you. And that should be the most powerful thing of all. So, that's why I'm celibate. And I'm celibate indefinitely. I don't know when. I don't know if the circumstances will change. But for right now, I'm going to see how long I can be celibate. Now, I know I did a lot of rambling, so that marks the end of this podcast. If you are one of the realest ones that made it all the way to the end, thank you guys so much. I love you for real. So, what are your feelings about celibacy? Did this podcast change your mind about celibacy? Are you thinking about it? Are you questioning it? Are you just like, I hear you, sis, but that D though. But hey, it's all a learning experience. No judgment. Whatever choice you decide to make sure that it is a choice that you make because it is the choice that you want to make. Make sure that you're doing it for you and nobody else. That's all that matters. As long as the decision you make, you're comfortable with because you made it, that's all that matters. Like I said, don't let anybody shame you, shun you for doing whatever it is you do. Don't let anybody force you or coerce you into doing something you don't want to do. Just we ain't got time for that. We living for self out here. So anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Please be sure once again to like, subscribe, and comment. Let's have a discussion in the comment section. Let's discuss this. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Please be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Trues Introverse and follow my other YouTube channel, Trues Introverse. Yes, y'all. And until next time, sincerely yours, the real. It's your girl, True Mystique, and I am out. Peace.